Hi folks, it's a lovely sunny wintry day here, so I thought I'd dig out the video camera and just show you something that I've been doing lately. This is my attempt at making something which resembles a Hobonichi planner. Now, I know I don't usually talk about planners and diaries and things, but I kind of look on this as a bit of an alternative or even an addition to doing an art journal. And I thought it might be of interest to anyone who's never really thought about doing it before. It's very simple to set up, and I'm going to just quickly walk you through the basics of what I did to set this up and show you a little bit about how I use it. So to start with, you need a book, obviously. Now, you can buy, obviously, the real Hobonichi, which is, quite honestly, for us in England, it's pretty expensive to buy. And you need to import them from Japan, and it tends to cost quite a lot. And I wasn't altogether sure that I would want to use this every single day. So I thought, well, start off by making your own. It's something that a lot of people do, and there are these books out there which are very good for the purpose. And this one I got from Paper Chase, and apparently it is a Miguel Ruiz book. It's a bit scuffed, but they're very nice books. I just stuck some paper in there because I managed to damage the front cover a bit, so I stiffened it a bit with that. They are grid lined, and they have a phenomenal amount of pages in, as you can see. I'm sorry about the reflections on here. This is somebody's house across the road. The sun's shining directly onto the window and it's flashing back into the room. There's not a lot I can do about that at the minute, unfortunately. Anyway, the book. I got this one from Paper Chase, and I think this cost me about £7, I think. I can't quite remember now. I got it last year. And they have, as I say, some phenomenal amount of pages in. The paper is quite nice to write on. It's all squared, which I do like, actually. I like this sort of graph paper kind of style. And it's very easy to modify to make into a diary or any sort of a journal. If you're looking for these on the Paper Chase site, they don't call them Miguel Ruiz books because I believe they've been branded for themselves. As you can see there's a Paper Chase logo on them. But they are pretty easy to find on there. So I got that, and the other thing I got from the works, in fact, was, let me just grab this original one. I got a couple of these. Just to show you, this is the actual original type of cover. They're called Zippets, and I got these from the works, which you can buy them online, or they probably have them in the stores if you have a store nearby you. I don't have one round here, so they come with one notebook. I've put the notebook that was in that cover into here to use it, and they're just basically little plastic covers. They come in about 3 or 4 colours, I think, and they do have a zip at the front, hence the name Zip It, which I suppose you could use it to keep bits of receipts and things in. But what I did with mine was put a piece of jelly paper in it just to make a bit of a decorative cover. That's just a jelly print I did. And the original Hobonichis, you can buy plastic covers for those as well. So I thought that was a good idea because it will help protect it. Because it's obviously, if you're using it every day for a year, it's going to get quite a lot of heavy use, this. So although they aren't really designed for these thick books, you can actually fit one in a lot easier than I'm managing to do here, probably because I've got a piece of paper stuck in the back. And if you just persuade it a bit, it will actually go into that nice shape to cover it properly, instead of being all thin and wimpy like that one. And they do fit these are a standard A6 book, and they do fit quite well in these, so I was very happy with that. and I can't remember how much these cost. I think they're £2 or £3. And as I say, the cover comes with actually a nice notebook in it, which is just lined. You could make this into a diary. In fact, it's got a sort of date line up at the top. And I'm using one of those notebooks as a log for my books that I've read at the moment. So they work out very nicely. You can write on them in fountain pen, and they don't really bleed through. You get a bit of ghosting, but they don't really bleed through. The same is true of the paper in here, actually. You can write quite happily on this in fountain pen. And I haven't really tried much in the way of felt tips except for one type, which I'll show you in a minute. I suspect a lot of fibre tip pens would bleed through it, but the ones I've been using don't, and as I say, fountain pen seems to work quite nicely on it as well. As regards things like wet media, I'll get to that in a minute as well. You would need to be careful what sort of wet media you used on this, but it is only really moderately thin paper. It's not really the kind of paper you would normally do artwork on. But we'll get to that in a second. I'll just show you quickly how I set this up, because the whole point of this really was to do something every day, even if it's just one thing that's happened in the day or one thing I've been thinking about in the day. I was going to do something each day in it, and so far it's working out very well. I started off with a quick review of last year and put some pictures in of things that were relevant to me for last year. Then I had just a calendar that I've set up at the beginning, and that goes, I haven't filled in the whole year yet so far, I've only got up to August, but I've just counted out enough pages so that I can do a month calendar on each 2 pages, and that just allows me to fill in appointments and things on a day-to-day basis, which is obviously one of the things I wanted to do with this. And then after that, I've got my month coming up. I've got, let me show you the new one. I managed to find some stamps which are quite nice, which are this month, and then I just put a sort of bullet journal type list of things I want to get done in the month. And then the month's pages are just a page a day. So how did I set this up? Well, I have a few stamps. Well, I have quite a lot of stamps actually, but I managed to find some nice ones which had the months on. And I'm sorry, I can't remember just who they're by now, but there's a lot of these type of things around if you want to get some. And it also has a this month stamp on. In fact, I can show you what they look like, which might make it easier if you're trying to track them down. I'm afraid I threw the packaging away, so I now have no idea who does them. But as you can see, they've got all the months on. You can either have a script type month or the capitals. And they've got a little banner. Today I haven't really used that. And they've also got the days of the month, but I have a different set of stamps I use for my days. And that's very handy for the page at the beginning. That just says this month on it. Something like that's handy. You don't need it, obviously. You can write, you can use your own handwriting and write in whatever you want to put in these. But to try and keep it similar to the Hobonichi style, what I did was I looked on the website to see how they were set up, what the pages look like and everything, and then I modified it to suit me, basically. So I haven't got quite the same setup as a Hobonichi has, but I've got a page at the beginning of the month that says this month, and then that I will write just bullet points of the things, kind of like a to-do list of what I want to get done that month. It doesn't usually fill a whole page, so far anyway. Then after that I've just got daily pages, so if you decide for yourself, if you want to make one of these, decide how much space you want to allot to each bit and what you want to put in it. I have the, as I say, I have the date stamp, the month stamp, and then in here I actually, you can see there, I write the day at the top, and I've also put in a few of the moon phases, but I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that because it's a bit of a faff to do. But and then I like to write in what each day I write in what the weather was like and what the temperatures were. But again, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. It's just something I find interesting to look back at and see how our climate was doing really at any time of year. So if you divide it up into your grid as you want, or don't divide it into a grid, I mean, there's no really right and wrong way to do this, but as I say, I was trying to sort of vaguely mimic the Hobonichi, so I've divided it up like that. And then just go through your month doing a page to each day. And the other thing I've done with this is I've colour coded the edges. The pages I've already actually worked on. It's not so easy to see because as you can see, it's getting quite bulky. But I've just colour coded the edges so it's a bit easier to find the current month basically. As you can see, that's the start of February, and I've done a different colour for each month so far, but again I haven't done the whole year. I've only got up as far as April so far, because frankly it's a bit boring doing it, so do it in a chunk and then stop and don't bother for a bit. But what I'm doing with this, I'll just show you a little bit of the flip through of what I'm actually doing. I'm more or less doing each page in the same layout. As I say, I'm putting the weather and stuff at the top. And then I'm doing washi, top and bottom, leaving a little space at the bottom in order to put a quote in. Not every single day I've done has quotes in so far, but most of them do. And I just like those. I like little quotes to look at. Sometimes they cheer you up a bit if you're feeling a bit stumped by something. And I started on the 1st of January, fortunately, and just went through, and I've been every day just making little notes and little doodles and using washi tape and using stickers. I like diary stickers. I have a secret love of kawaii stuff, so I've been using nice washi tape and diary stickers. Stamps you can use as well in there, and some drawing, and practicing bits of lettering. So, and I'm just going through it really day by day, noting things down that are of interest to me, or that I've enjoyed that day, or things I want to do. That was that was one of my favourite things, was food, of course. I made an egg custard, and I thought I'd draw it. I thought I'd draw the process of making an egg custard. So that's the kind of thing you can do in here, and it's not, it's not big clever stuff. It's just doodling and sketching and doing any little odds and ends of bits and pieces of things that, like that one, I was just really tired that day, so that's a really inaccurate self-portrait of me going, I'm so tired. And just noting down things which happened. Bought a ukulele that day, so that was my day's entry, was my new ukulele, which I love. And just little snippets about things which have happened in general. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I can tell you about that, really. I use lots of nice washi, as I say, because I love my washi. And just odds and ends. So, what kind of things did I use to actually create this? Let me show you how this went. Well, you've seen those stickers that I had for the months. The stickers I have for doing the the dates are this very old set. You can tell they're very old because they've got shillings and D for pence, which is what we used to have back in ye olden days before decimalisation. So this is a really old set, but I actually like the fact that it's a bit grungy and a bit, you know, the rubber's starting to perish a bit. And I bought this on eBay, I think, some time ago. They do come up occasionally. If you like that sort of thing, if you like that sort of grungy old numbering and lettering, I've got quite a few of these sets now because I look out for them. And they are just really nice to use either in artwork or just for things like this, you know. So that's what I've used for those. The pen I used for doing this is a Koh-i-Noor one, which was gifted to me by an artist friend. And I've never actually seen them. She's in America. I've never actually seen them in the UK, these, but that's not to say you can't get them here, because you probably can. It's just that my local art shop doesn't stock them, so... and I don't know what it is other than a Koh-i-Noor. It's got a kind of... It's just a ballpoint pen, really, but it's a really nice sort of ochre yellow colour, which doesn't shout out from the page and doesn't detract from other things, but it's good for drawing lines with. So that's that. My go-to pen for writing in here is I love fountain pens, so I nearly always write with fountain pens. This is a Pilot Prera, and it's got a very fine nib, as you might be able to see. Oh, I don't know, can you see that? Yes, it's a very fine nib on it, so it's nice for writing on the graph paper because you can write quite small with it, and it doesn't take up too much room, as you can see. So that's what I use for writing in just about all the time. When I'm not using that, if I'm using things for drawing, then I'm using this Staedtler pigment liner. This is a 0.3, which I like. That's one of my favourite sizes. And this has the advantage of being waterproof. It also doesn't bleed through this paper. So a lot of the drawing I do, as there, you can see that I've done that in that pen, and also that, and in fact just about all the drawings that I want to colour in I do in this pen, because you can add water media to it or fibre tips and it won't bleed, which is obviously a big consideration. Other things I've used for that one, I used these ink tense pencils. That's quite hard to say at this time in the morning. And this is just a small set I've had for quite a while. I don't use them very often, as you can tell, because they're all practically looking still new. But then again, a little goes a long way with these. And you can either... I use them with a water brush. I have one of these water brushes, which is jolly useful to have handy when you're just sitting journaling, because you don't need to start getting out pots of water and all that kind of malarkey. And I just use one of these, and you can either use it by just wiping it on the tip of the pencil and picking up colour that way, or you can colour in the picture with your pencils and then go over it with your water brush. And that seems to work very well. A word of caution though, if you're using anything wet on these pages, don't do what I did here, which was put rather too much water on it, and it does, as you can see, wrinkle the pages quite badly. So just be a bit cautious if you're using wet media in one of these books, because they don't cope with too much liquid on the pages. The other thing I use, and have used quite extensively in here, and in fact I'm going to have to buy some more because they're running out now, is this set of fibre tip pens. They're called Paper Mania pens. They're done by Do Crafts, or Do Crafts, however you pronounce that. And they're colour burst markers. And I just picked these up. I can't even remember where now. It was just something like not a pound shop, but one of these sort of like, you know, cheap crafty places. And I just picked them up for not much money, because I wouldn't have bought them if they were much money. I don't really tend to use fibre tips that much. And I didn't know at the time, but the thing I like about them is they've got quite a sort of chalky finish. I don't know if you can see that on there. they have an almost sort of opaque, chalky sort of finish, and that looks rather nice. And you can also put sort of other colours over them, and they seem to blend quite well. As I say, they come in packs. I think there might be bigger packs than these as well, but this was just the one I got. And as I can't remember where I got them, I'm going to have to search online for them when I want some more. But they are very useful, and although I don't think they're waterproof, I can't see anything on here that says they are. I don't think they're waterproof, but they are acid free, and allegedly non-toxic as well. So that's quite useful. So and you can also write on all sorts of different surfaces with them as well. They go over black or dark paper or card, presumably because they have this chalky sort of finish. And you can also write on shiny things as well. Although, to be honest, the odd place where I haven't gone over a sticker on them, I haven't noticed it drying particularly well on there. I'm not sure how well it would hold up long term. But that's it anyway. That's what I used. Okay, so for some reason my camera decided to cut out there, but I had just about finished anyway. And what I was going to say was, I hope this has been of use to you, and if you have any sort of questions or comments or things you'd like to see me demonstrate or expand on with regards to setting up a planner, just leave me a comment below and I'll see what I can do. I hope that's been of use to you, so thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.